In this video, we're going to use Minitab to calculate normal probabilities. We're going to do this homework problem as an example. It says, an expensive watch is powered by a 3-volt lithium battery expected to last 3 years. Suppose the life of the battery has a standard deviation of 0.7 year and is normally distributed. Determine the probability that the watch's battery will last longer than 3.4 years. So we are using the normal distribution here. The problem is telling us that it is normally distributed. The tricky part about this problem is that it's not quite as clear what the mean is. We know the standard deviation is 0.7 year, but we don't see the word mean or the mu symbol in the problem. The mean here is actually 3 because the battery is expected to last 3 years. That's an expected value, which, as you may or may not remember, is also the mean. So the mean is 3, the standard deviation is 0.7. So let's go to Minitab. We're going to go to Graph and go down to Probability Distribution Plot and click on View Probability. We can leave this set at normal, and then we're going to enter the mean and standard deviation from our problem. The mean was 3 and the standard deviation 0.7. Then we click on Options. So now we are looking at the question to help us fill in this menu. We want to know the probability that the battery will last longer than 3.4 years. So longer than 3.4 means that we are doing a right tail because we want values greater than 3.4. We need to switch to specified x value, and our x value is going to be that 3.4. When you're dealing with the normal distribution, you don't have to worry about whether it's strictly greater than 3.4 or 3.4 or greater. Either way, it would give you the same probability, so I can just use 3.4 there. Click OK, click OK again, and here is my graph. So I have the 3.4 marked on the x-axis, I have my mean of 3 and standard deviation of 0.7, and then my answer, my probability, appears above the red shaded area, 0.2839. So I'm going to put that in here. Now for the next question, now I want to calculate the probability that the battery will last more than 2.75 years. So my mean and standard deviation are not changing. So I can leave those as is. I want to know the probability the battery will last more than 2.75 years, so that's still a right tail. And my x value is changing to 2.75. Click OK. And we have our probability here. Check that we have our x value of 2.75 and then everything shaded to the right. And my probability is 0.6395. Now for the last question, it's a little bit different. The length of life value for which 10% of the batteries last longer is blank years. So now instead of giving me an x value in years, they're giving me a percentage or a proportion. And so what that means is that when I go to my menu here, mean and standard deviation have not changed. But under options, instead of specified x value, I have a specified probability. And I want to know the length of life value for which 10% of batteries last longer. So lasting longer means a greater amount of time, and so I'm still working on a right tail here. My probability is going to be that 10%. So click OK again. Now in my graph, I see the 0.1 or that 10% above the shaded area of the curve, which makes sense, and my answer is the x value that is found along the x-axis. So 3.897. Check the problem to see how I should round that number. It says to round to 1 decimal place, so that would round up to 3.9. So 3.9 years, that would be my answer. And that's how you use Minitab to calculate normal probabilities.